I'm Sam, Chief of Rescue, and we are off-roaders, we are Dubai off-roaders. And this is Mr. Abdullah, one of the senior off-roaders perhaps in this country. You know, and we are lucky enough to have him here to give you a thorough briefing of equipment and how to use them. How many first timers?
How many first timers?
Okay, lot.
Too many.
All right.
Come here.
So
Too risky.
I want to talk to you directly.
you guys, be in the
all
front.
first timers, you can move to the side.
Thank you for coming. On behalf of our founder and chairman, Mr. Ahmed Tawi, and our Chief Marshal Ali, that we could not be here because the last 2 months he's been working so hard, planning for our events. I don't know if you heard of our events. We had movie nights and GPS challenges and all of that. So he's decided to take 1 weekend off with his family. The way Offroaders, as Marshal Sam said, we are a bunch of people who are adventure enthusiasts, love the desert and the mountains sometimes, family oriented, environmental friendly, and friendly people. The briefing today will be concentrated on 4 different things. One, we'll talk about the equipment in general. Then you need the equipment in specific, which you will not leave home and going to the desert without it, period. Then we talk about the car itself and things related to the car you need when you go to the desert. Then we talk about the drives. And finally, we will actually, whatever we talked about the drive, we will try to implement it in the sand today. Okay? The equipments. There are so many equipments you can put in the car. Not all you need. Not all. There are some you want. Most of the by grades, you're supposed to move up your equipment. When you come to a higher level, you have a complete equipment, and that's actually posted on the website. But mainly, you should never leave your home, go to the desert, until you have few basic things. First of them, Toro. This is, if you get stuck, we always recommend and encourage self-recovery. But sometimes self-recovery is not as easy as we think, especially in the last 2 weeks. Because of the rain, the actual sand becomes a mud. You cannot actually dig it out. Will be a hard time. I had experience last Saturday. It took me an hour and a half to dig myself out of stuck. I went alone. That's another thing. You never go to this desert alone. You go minimum 2 cars. I recommend 3 cars. You never know what happens. Okay? But please, when you buy these, I still see some of our members having extension of winch extension, which has hooks on both sides. Please don't buy them. There's also on Dragon Mars tow ropes. Looks like this, but those are on-road towing ropes. In the sand, you need something that doesn't damage your car. On tarmac, you can just pull the car easily. But in the sand, you have to pull it out strong. You need a tow rope that's called snatch, which actually elasticity in it, and it stretches when you pull it. You don't think maybe all 2 minutes you just take the car out, but if you do it day in and day out, eventually you will find your chassis is damaged. So instead of doing that, that one costs you about 70 to 100. This one probably costs you 199. I think if you're going to use a year or two, 90 dirham extra is not much. Okay? The second thing that goes with it, shackles. Also, there are so many shackles in the market. Please buy only shackles that is rated. Don't buy the cheap one. The difference is very small. This one from Ace Hardware is about 35. There are some other companies that sell them the same exact thing for 20 dirham. In Dragon Mars you'll find it 15. 15 to 20 dirham is not big difference. But this could be a killer. If it is not rated and you pull a car out, it will break and it will fly. Either hit you or hit somebody who was standing outside, or damage your car. So invest the extra 5 or 10 dirham and buy rated. Normally says 3.5 ton or 3.25 ton or 4 ton, 4.25 ton. And also you need to be careful on the whole of your recovery point that this will go in. Some of them, a small hole with this, the 3.25 will go in, but the 4.25 will not go. So you need to make sure that you have that in mind when you buy them. Okay? We'll talk about this when we get to the drive more. Again, walkie-talkie, especially if you're going more than one car. Some places in the desert, there is no telephones. You need a walkie-talkie. Who does not have walkie-talkie today? Too many first-timers. We have to do a drawing and put your names in. I have 4 to give away. I was not expecting 7, 8. I don't have 7, 8 in stock. I normally keep around 4 for myself, always in stock. I don't have them always with me, but I keep them with me because not always you'll find them. But it's there. You need to put your name in. There are 4 walkie-talkies to give away. Who was lucky person?
How many we have here?
A lot.
I can give 2.
Okay?
I can give 2.
You don't go without it. Then you need. Why is this gone so far out? The helping hand of shower. That goes with you everywhere you go. Period. It's not safe to have a car on sand with the chassis or the chest of the car is stuck and you see behind it is like this. Oh, I can dig. When you dig, the sand will go down. It could go on. So it's not safe. So dig it from the side. You have an arm. It's much safer for you. Go to your families. Okay? Talk about this also a little bit later. I hope. What else you need? A jack and a board. In case you have a pop out, and some extreme cases you actually stuck, like in this weather when the sand is very hard, you cannot dig it. So what you do is you jack it up and put sand under it so the car starts being lifted and the bottom of the car is clear. But in the sand normally, a normal jack, when you jack it, the weight of the car will push it down, it will sink. So you need a base for it, which is that wood. The function of that base is exactly the function of the camel of 4 feet. It's wide, doesn't sink. The horse sinks in. Okay? You also going to need, very important, compressor for inflating after the trip, or if you have a pop out, you need it. But when you buy it, make sure you're buying something that it says a minimum air power is 62 liters per minute. Anything less than that will take you forever to inflate your tires. They run at 62, 67, and 72. They have lower. I'm not going to mention lower because I don't want you to buy lower. The difference is not big. The best is 72, but I don't want you to spend that much because actually jumping from this one to that one is about 600-700 dirham. 62 liters is good enough. The Zenstone. A lot of guys here have from the Dragon Mart. The personal preference, how much you want to spend. And also depends on your budget. But you have to have it. Okay? There are some certain accessories that you don't have it, must have it in your car, especially at this level, which is fixing your tire, first aid kit. This jumper I'm sure everybody has it anyway, so there's no reason to talk about it. Okay? Some tools. I'm not saying you have to have it now. The more you progress in the club, actually is listed on the website, and you need to have it. Marshals normally, when they think you are ready for an upgrade, they will check your equipment for the upgrade part. You're a newbie, you have your newbie equipment. There are certain additional equipment needed to go to intermediate, he will check the actual, do you have the intermediate level equipment? And it's very important to have it. Because when you progress, that means you will start getting more experience and will be helping the people below you. And if you don't have the equipment, your experience is no help. We're done with that? Okay. You also need, when you go to the desert, your inflation and deflation devices and air pressure gauge. I have few here. Some people use these to move the valve, but if you use this, you must have one like this. There are different types. They have the stick ones, they have this one, they have digital now. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. If you don't want to use this, you can use this one. They have an RB and they have an Ironman, I think, as well. Yeah, I have mine is Ironman actually. This is a deflator with a gauge that tells you exactly what pressure you are. You can use that if you want. And there's also Bushwalker, another one. There are so many types. Personally, I use the automatic one, which is a preset. Whatever pressure you want, it screws to the valve, it takes the air out to the required pressure.
I think you started doing automatically there.
Okay?
Yeah, that's a marshal on a live one.
Then we have little small things, which is I don't expect you to carry, but I am carrying. Lighters, little valves, valve itself, all different little things. Clips, what is there? في يسمونها هذا؟
Fuse.
Fuse. I totally blocked on that one. Some fuses, it happened that we were doing the advanced drive with one of our guys. 3 times he stopped. The only problem was the fuse was burned out. We had to, we didn't have fuse, we had to fix it with some metal things, but when you have it, you just plug it in there and that's it. Okay? I think this is what we did. You also need, actually, a glove. A car gets hot, especially when you are inflating and deflating. Diesel gets very hot, so you do need it. And if you want to work, you don't want to get hurt your hand. We also need a couple of little things, which is tie-up things. Flag, that will come, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Flag is good with every trip, and you must have it. I'm surprised you don't have it today, but next time, please bring it. It has a very useful use for it. We'll also discuss it when we come to the actual drive itself. Okay?
Radio.
No, we talked about radio. Anything I forget, please, after I do finish the briefing?
Couple of valves
Please.
in spare when they try to...
That we just talked about.
deflate, yes.
Yeah. Okay, now we go to the car. Please, when you want to go to the desert, I'm not saying we're all mechanics. I'm the first one who's not a mechanic. Look at it under your car, just to see it. See things are, you just want to see it. Then you just go drive, do whatever you want. And when you come back, you finish, look again under it. Check this. Does it look the same as when you left home? If it doesn't look something wrong, or you don't see something in place, check it out. You don't want to go to a next trip and there was something there and get in the middle of the desert and the car breaks down. Just look at it. I'm not saying be an expert in it, just if it looks normal or doesn't look normal. Okay? Now we will talk about tires, which is very important. For you it's not important, but I guarantee you in 3-4 months you start thinking, is this good enough tire for me or is not good enough tire for me? Tires normally come mainly 2 types. There is one in the middle, but we'll not discuss that. Comes soft tires and very aggressive tires. Jeepers normally love the look of the aggressive tires, and they both have benefits and pros and cons. The aggressive tires are normally good in winter, and it's good if you always want to show up and going up the doors, because it has much higher grip. Come summer, it's actually useless, almost useless. It still will go, but it digs so much because the sand is so soft So the normal passenger car is better. And the more the tire has a groove which is circular straight, not is much better in the sand than the one that has zigzags. If somebody has a Nissan Bridgestone Dueler, it has a zigzag. Normally in gear, second gear, it will dig because it comes with this car when you buy it new, and I changed it the second day. I put a Michelin, which is straight line, straight grooving. It's much better for the sand to move on. But in rainy and winter, doesn't have enough grip to go up the dunes, about 20% less. But I could care less about it. Much more comfortable for me. Okay? Now when you buy a tire, what do you want to look at? Tires have different sizes, different width, different height. You need to make sure that the tire you buy as close as possible to your original factory tires. Except if you're going to go modifying your car. You have to lift the car to put a higher diameter tires. But normally, go as close as you can. I'm not saying don't go a little bit bigger, but as close as you can. Because sometimes what happens is your gearing ratio, every car has a gearing ratio, which is a ring and pinion. It turns so many turns for the tire to turn one time. The bigger the tire, the car has to work much harder to turn that tire. Which means if you go more than normal as a rule of thumb, it's not 100% science, as a rule of thumb. If you're going above, reaching 33-inch and above, you need to re-gear and you need to reinforce your differential. It will break. It's too heavy. Okay? You just keep in mind. I know it's a newbie, I know you're supposed to talk about all these technicals, but we are going to talk about it.